Hi, Kingdom. Welcome back. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I hope that everyone is having an absolutely wonderful day and living an art free life as well. So, today is story time, and this event was before I found out about the new supply. So let me take it back a little bit. So me and the kids had moved out. We had moved out probably for about, I want to say about 9 months. And while we were moved out, the narcissist did everything in his power. This was before I found out what this sickness was. Back then, I had no idea, no clue what the sickness was. So we moved out, and during that time, he had done everything in his power. He was the nicest man in the world. Um, Back to I now know the love bombing stage, doing everything right, cooking, cleaning, catering to us, trying everything under the sun, apologizing to my son, which I now know was all fake. Um, he had promised my son that he would buy him a car. And my son said, I don't need anything from you. The only thing I want from you is that you love and treat my mom with respect. That's all I want. And he said, yes. He said, I agree. I want my family back because my son and my daughter and myself had moved out for that period of time. We were all together, and he vowed that he would absolutely promise that he would change and that he was sorry, which was all fake, of course. But I didn't know that back then. And so, fast forward, we moved back in to the house, and because he begged me, he literally begged me to move back in. He said that he was falling behind on his bills, and because he was now having to take care of my half of the bills, and that it was really stressful. It was stressful for me too, trying to do everything myself, on my income, and then my son was helping a little bit at the time. But it was a really hard time. It was hard for both of us because I didn't want to be away from, um, at the time, my husband. I didn't want, my daughter to be away from her dad. And he was telling us how much him and the dog, our big dog, had missed us, and that they would sit. This is what he would say. He would say that when he would get home, the two of them would just sit and stare at each other, um, you know, and that he wanted his family back. So, anyway, I'm rambling. So, fast forward, we did move back in. And maybe about, I want to say, it only took 3 weeks, probably 3 weeks, for him to go back to his regular self where nothing had changed. And, I was bamboozled again. And so here I am stuck back in this same scenario. Probably towards the end of the year, we moved back in around June. And then we went to New York for a wedding. It wound up turning to be a funeral for his uh, cousin who was getting married, and the father passed away right before the wedding. So anyway, while we were there, he met up with a cousin who is notorious for meeting women on dating sites and then leaving his wife. I think he leaves his wife like quite a few times a year. He'll leave for like 3 or 4 months, and then he'll go with this lady, whoever this person is, and then he'll come back. And that's been a vicious cycle for her for a really long time. So I'm assuming, this is an assumption, I'm assuming that while he was there, this same cousin, because this cousin was at the wedding slash funeral, um, and he was carrying on with his antics then too. He had some woman um, there at his brother's house. So anyway, um, I'm assuming that the cousin told the narc how to go on this date, these dating sites, and what to do, and so on. So fast forward, we went to New York in July, and then he started talking to this person that lived in Georgia in August. So only a couple of weeks after we had come back from New York, this thing started. So towards the end of the year, where my birthday is in December, um, we he was really cold. He wasn't talking to me. He was really callous, really detached, had no interest in me whatsoever. Um, and one morning, uh, it was right before Christmas break. He had stayed home this day, and my daughter had a half a day that day. I think it was the last day for them to have school before um, Christmas break. So, usually they'll have a half a day that day. And so I think it was a Friday. So the Friday he stayed home. He was said that he was going to pick up our daughter from school, and I went to work. So I was working at Lowe's at the time. So that morning, while I was getting my daughter ready for school, um, I was coughing. My diet was really, really bad back then. I was a lot heavier. And in the morning, I would have like this cold or congestion on my chest. So I actually was coughing while I was doing my daughter's hair. And this man proceeded to call me every name in the book. He called me all kind of B's, told me he was effing sick of me and my coughing, and how sick of me he was. Um, he was sick of me, he said. I'm so effing sick of you, you stupid bump, bump, bump B. And um, and so um, I turned to him while I was doing my daughter's hair, and I said, do you not realize, do you not see her standing here? And then he just put his put his head like this, shook his head back and forth. He put his arms over his chest, and then he stayed quiet the rest of the time, and then started mumbling under his breath. And so I went to work. I dropped my daughter to school, and I dropped my daughter to school. I went to work, and I didn't talk to him the entire day. He never, ever called me to say, I was sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I was having a bad morning. Nothing, nothing at all. Never called me, not one time during the day. Um, so when he picked up my daughter called me, and my daughter said, "Hi, Mom. That Dad just picked me up." I said, "Okay." She says, "What time are you getting home?" I said, "Oh, I don't know, when I get off of work." She asked me what time. I said 4:30, like I always do. And so she said, "Okay." Um, Around 4:45. So it was right before Christmas. She usually is with me all the time. So in my mind, I was thinking, great, I have a day where she's not with me. I can actually go and get her some Christmas gifts without her having to see what I was buying, because we're always joined at the hips. So this particular day, I told her, I said, I have some errands to run, so I'm going to do that before I get home. So she said, okay. So I get off of work, I'm running my errands, trying to get her stuff for Christmas. She calls me and she says, Mom, where are you? I said, I told you I was getting you some stuff for Christmas. Since you're always with me, I'm going to do some Christmas shopping. So she says, oh. I said, why? What's wrong? She said, oh, nothing. Never mind. It's okay. And then she called me again. She called me like 3 times to find out where I was. So anyway, long story short, I get home. There's no cars anywhere. I come in, I don't see or hear anyone, so I'm like calling her name and she's not answering. So I'm like, okay, good. So I go and I grab the stuff out of the garage, out of the car. I run in my room and I hide the stuff, her Christmas stuff, and then I hear him say, "Can you come here?" So I didn't say anything. I just ignored him because, you had just cursed me out there in the morning. So I just completely ignored him and act like I didn't hear him, excuse me. And so then I hear him say it again. So I'm coming towards where I can hear his voice and I say, you know what? Don't say anything to me. I say, you cursed me so disgustingly this morning. I don't have anything to say to you. And then, as I'm saying that, my mother, my father from New York, his sister, his sister's husband, some friends, a few friends, and a few neighbors jump out and say, surprise, surprise, what? What is going on? He gave me a surprise birthday party. But he cursed me out that morning. And I'm looking like, what in the world? What in the world is what's my mind is going cuckoo, 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 crazy, completely crazy. I married a creep. I married a psycho. I married a sociopath or psychopath, however you want to say it, all of the above. That's what I was thinking in my head as I was looking at him. Because I was thinking, who does that? Who would curse their wife up, down, and around that morning for coughing and then give them a surprise party that same evening and never called, never said, honey, I love you, I'm sorry. Nothing of the sort ever happened. But I gotta tell you something. This was right, this was in December. This was around the time where he was watching the videos of the man sharpening the knife every weekend. Every weekend. And when I would ask, why are you watching that same video all the time? I only got 2 responses. He'd get up, he would stop watching it, he would go to the garage, or he would just chuckle under his breath. Never got a concrete answer. So fast forward till now. Now I understand he started talking to the new supply in August via the phone because she lived in Georgia. So this is why he wasn't talking to me the entire time. He was planning to do something to me and the kids. I'm 100% sure of that. He remember he had taken out the insurance policy on our daughter behind my back prior. So that was in December. And then I found, and he was still cold as day, still. And then during the party, he was actually after the party. He started an argument with me because I didn't want to cut the cake with him, and he got upset and said that I embarrassed him because I called my daughter to cut the cake with me. My son didn't come to the party. That's how disgusted he was with him. I didn't know my parents was even coming to town. My mother said he called her 3 weeks prior and said, "Hey, are you coming to this party?" And she said he hadn't talked about the party on back in when we were in New York in July. He had mentioned the party, that he wanted to have a party for me one time. She said he had never mentioned it ever again until 3 weeks before. He called my father out of the blue and said, "Hey, are you guys still coming to the party?" They were like, "Party? What party?" So anyway, I'm telling you all of this to tell you that this is when he was uh, involved with the new supply. He wasn't talking to me. He was very cold, very, very distant. And he was plotting. He was plotting for me. And the party was a cover up that he would have everyone say that we were so happy, which is why he got mad that I didn't want to cut the cake with him, because it was all about how things looked. That God forbid it would turn out that it would be some kind of wink wink accident, then it would be that, oh, they were happy. Oh, he just threw her a birthday party. Everything was great. That would be the alibi, I guess, in his mind, is what he was thinking. And then that was December. And then in the beginning of February is when I got the premonition and the guidance from God to show me that he was involved with this woman. So, you guys want to know why my faith is so strong? Because God shields me, He protects me, He protects me and my children. I have this thing that I say, and I say it all the time, and I'll get like little feelings, and I'll just repeat it over and over and over. And it goes, "No weapon formed against me or my children shall prosper, and it will always boomerang and return to sender." And I'm going to say it again. "No weapon formed against me or my children shall prosper, and it will always boomerang and return to sender." And I say that and I repeat that all the time. I don't know about anyone else, but my God loves me. He shields and He protects me and my children. I always remind myself to repeat that all the time. And you already know the end story. So I just want you to know that God will cover you and God will protect you. You have to just know it. You have to believe it, and He will remove whatever He needs to remove. If it's a mountain that He needs to move in order for you to get to the other side, He's going to do it for you. But the faith and the guidance is coming from God, but you have to be the one to listen. So my ex-husband, the narcissist, had me and probably the kids in mind. He was going to do something to probably all of us, and God knew it and saw it. And God sent this woman, as I said the other day, to um, earlier, I said earlier, um, to get this person out of our lives. And I'm just truly grateful to God for doing that, and just protecting us. So, yeah, that's it's the first time I told the story and I didn't get emotional. So I'm truly grateful. I'm truly, truly grateful, because it's hard. It's really hard. But there's a numbness there um, on this one, because no weapon formed against me and my children shall prosper, and it will always boomerang and return to sender. And he had me and my kids in mind, or he was trying to intimidate us. But God showed me that it was we were in danger. I was definitely in danger. And so, yeah. So that's the story. Um, it's absolutely crazy. I can't believe I'm actually saying this out loud, and I'm actually going to put this out. But that's what happened. Kind of try to condense everything into a really short video. We're at 20 minutes now, but yeah. So there's no one in this world that can tell me any different. That he was going to do something to me. He was going to get rid of me. I'm assuming the plan would have been, but I found out about, God revealed to me about the new supply. So here, I almost forgot I was supposed to say this. So he had me in mind. He was going to probably make it look like an accident. He was going to have his alibi because he gave that weak party. It was really weak party because it was very suspect. My mother said she was like, what? She said she started looking at him, and she's always been one of his cheerleaders. But she said she was looking at him like, what? She said she knew something was off. Definitely off. She said she could tell. Um, so the plan was get rid of me, maybe even the kids. And then I guess in his mind, he was going to move the woman from Georgia with her 2 kids to come and live in the house, our house that we got together. And he was going to move this person into our house. And God said, not so. Not my child and not this house. Oh no. So God sent him running. Running, running, running. And I'm truly grateful. I'm truly grateful. I say, Lord, I thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, Kingdom, I know this one is it's crazy. I know. I can't imagine having to go back to that. There's no way. No way. People ask me all the time. Maybe, or they'll say maybe in the future. No. No. There's no way. No way. I've come too far. God has brought me too far. And life is not always easy, but life is wonderful. Wonderful. Minus the narc. So, Kingdom, remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you want to do a one-on-one coaching session, my email will be in the description area. Go ahead and send me an email, and we will set up a date for us to do that one-on-one. And remember, again, you are part of the kingdom. You are beautiful. You are special. And God loves you. Have a wonderful day.